Today we have the 2022 Nissan Kicks, and if you're looking for a small, affordable, compact vehicle that still gives you quite a few features and space, the Kicks might be just for you. In this video, we're going to take a full detailed look at the exterior, hop inside, look at everything on the inside and all the features, and get it out on the road for a test drive so you know exactly what you get with this Nissan Kicks. Real quick, thank you so much for watching. My name is Nolan. I do full reviews every single week, but also so you can go to different parts of the video, I put chapters in the description below so you can skip around to whatever part you want. And if you want to see some older Kicks models, I've got a few other Nissan Kicks videos down there as well, but let's jump into it. All right, y'all, let's take a look at all the exterior details of this 2022 Nissan Kicks SR. But real quick, with the trim levels, you've got the base S, the mid-level SV, and then this top-end SR trim right here that even has the premium package. So on the exterior, the Kicks was revised last year for the 2021 model. Nothing really changes for 2022. It still looks the same, has a little bit more of a sleek, sporty front end with this SR, this big V-motion grille, and you'll see that we even have LED headlights and LED fog lights, but those are only on the SR trim level. Even though this is a less expensive, smaller class of vehicle, you still get an LED turn signal. That's rare on some vehicles. This particular Kicks comes with the premium two-tone paint option with this red and then the black top. Plus with the SR, you're gonna get these black wheels, black mirror caps, black accents in general. I think it looks good with the red and black top. The base Kicks model is gonna give you 16-inch wheels, so if you want smaller, less expensive wheels and tires, you can go for that. But these are 17-inch black wheels here. This top SR trim even will give us turn signals in the mirror. These mirrors don't have blind spot indicators in them, but the blind spot indicator is built into that inside part of the door. And dimensionally, as we pan out, the Kicks is quite short. It's only 169 inches long and 69 inches wide. So it's very compact, easy to maneuver, a really good city vehicle. The rear end was even revised a little bit for 2021, but stays the same for 2022. You still get that black spoiler up above. You get an incandescent signal here, but you've got that V-motion type of taillight back here to mirror the front lights. And what do you think overall of the looks of the Kicks? Now getting into the cargo area, there's no power lift gate. So if you're looking for a key fob button or button inside to lift it, it doesn't lift electronically. It's all manual controlled. There's just a little touchpad right here to unlock it and lift. I wish there was a better grab handle because you kind of have to push and lift with this hard edge of the vehicle right there. I wish it was just a regular handle. Small complaint, but there's a grab handle to pull it down. And back here, there's a lot more space than I had ever expected for the Nissan Kicks. This is about 25.5 cubic feet. This is not bad at all. It's actually fairly wide and really deep. So with a pretty standard sized backpack right there, you can see it does take up a good amount of space, but large suitcases, small carry-on suitcases will work. Check it out though, I really like this. This could work good for a cargo net or slinging grocery bags on. You've got one of those on each side so your grocery bags don't roll all over the place. There's even a little cargo light right up there. And then underneath of here, there is a spare tire standard and quite a bit of space underneath of this whole area if you wanted to store a couple of items. To fold the second row down, you can come from the back. By the way, this tonneau cover is also available on the upper trim here. Then fold this seat down. Then same thing on the other side, and this is pretty flat right on here, although there's this pretty steep drop off to the back. But overall, I mean, you got quite a bit of space in here when you fold everything down. So this could be a pretty usable, practical type of hauling vehicle. Every trim but the base model is gonna give us this same key fob, which is gonna be the smart key system. Let me show you how this works. So there's no sensors. This button locks it and unlocks it, so that's all you need to know. And then those top two trims come with remote start, and it actually works pretty nicely. Easy peasy. Now moving into the front seats, so we have optional seats here. You're gonna get 6-way manual seats no matter what, and typically cloth seats, but with the premium package, we have a couple of options. Look, you even have the Bose speaker system built into the headrest, and this is Nissan's synthetic material. I think this two-tone looks pretty nice as well. It doesn't feel super cheap. It actually has decent cushioning on here as well. You do still get height adjustment even though these are manual seats, but there's no power adjustment available if you're looking for that, and no lumbar support. So that's kind of a big deal, no adjustable lumbar support. I've been able to spend time in the Kicks several different times for about a week at a time, and I really haven't had any complaints as far as comfort goes. I wish the seating position was a little bit different, but the only complaint would be lumbar support if you really need that. you're probably going to want to look elsewhere or bring your pillow with you. And the nice thing is, with the premium package, we get these heated seats as an option, two-tone heated seats, and then there's even a heated steering wheel here. The heated button is right back there. So a heated steering wheel, even on this class of vehicle, is awesome. Now let's take a look at the back seat of the Kicks, and it might surprise you a little bit considering how small it is. First of all, over on the door, you're just going to get cheap plastic here, but you do still get a little bit of a softer armrest and a small bottle holder. You get the same synthetic seats back here. You're not going to find any heated seats or anything like that, but these seats still look nice and have decent comfort to them. And then sitting behind myself, I'm 5'9", so this is where I like to sit in the driver's seat, and I can still have a little bit of knee support and some pretty good foot support too, because the seats actually sit kind of high in the front. So whether you like that or not, but second row space is not that bad considering how small this vehicle is. And if someone wants to sit even a little further forward, there's quite a bit more available space. Not really ideal for car seats, but you could make it work if you scoot your seats up. And then I'm really surprised to see that we even get 2 USB charging ports back here. These seats are not reclining or sliding forward and backwards available, but I mean, look how much headroom there is. You can have some taller guests back here, maybe even up to 6 foot, 5'10", 5'11", and still be decently comfortable, at least in terms of headroom. The one caveat though, and this is common on smaller vehicles like this, is there's no direct AC vents. You have to rely more on the vents up front. And to my surprise, this is not a fold down center armrest. It'd be nice if we had one, but you don't get one back here. Now let's hop inside this Nissan Kicks, and nothing changes inside here. Go ahead and start it up. Got push button start down there, and let me go over all the features. First of all, over on the door, if you like to rest your arm up here, this is just a hard plastic. You know, it does have kind of a cheap feel in some of the areas, but you do have a softer material on the armrest, a good grab handle. The front 2 windows are automatic one touch, and then a little storage and bottle holder. Now I've got a really tall bottle right there, and that actually fits in there okay. And just remember, like I said, there is a heated steering wheel button right there. The nice thing about this steering wheel, even on other trims, is that it's both tilt and telescoping, even for a vehicle this small. And a quick note before we jump into more is that this has Nissan Safety Shield 360. So we have automatic emergency braking up front. There's going to be lane departure warning, so it won't let you, or it'll alert you if you start to leave your lane. You've got blind spot monitors in the window right there, or in the little kind of pillar right there, I should say, plus rear cross traffic alert. When you have your high beams on at night, you can have automatic high beams, and there's even rear automatic braking if you're backing up and you're about to run into something. But the top 2 trims also give us this 7-inch display right here. So you've got the analog area right there, and then there's quite a bit of information that you can scroll through over here. So you can toggle between like a speedometer, you can have just like some miles per gallon information, music information. There's a lot that you can see, or even just a standard looking tachometer like that too. So for this small of a vehicle, that's pretty cool. Then moving over here, Nissan gives you either a 7 or an 8-inch screen, and we have the 8-inch screen here on this SR. It's going to give us Apple CarPlay, as you see right here, and Android Auto. It has to be wired. As of right now, it's not wireless, but we have physical buttons over here, volume knob, tuning knob, even a button to access your camera just right off the bat, because check it out. Even in a small vehicle, you have a surround view top-down 360 camera. That's pretty cool. That camera is only on this top SR trim level though. This is similar to Nissan's other systems as far as the way that the main screen looks and operates. It's kind of old school looking and feeling, but it has everything that you need on here, and it's still easy to operate. Most of the Kickses are going to give you a 6-speaker audio system, but we have the optional 8-speaker Bose audio system, and it sounds good for this small of a vehicle. In case you missed it when I was talking about the front seats, these headrests even have a little Bose speaker in them too. Let's go ahead and plug your headphones in and take a listen, because I'm recording it with binaural audio. Another thing optional on this Kicks that you don't always see is that this has an available Wi-Fi hotspot. This is an option. And then just below that, Nissan gives you an automatic climate control on everything but the base model. It's all easy to use. You've got your heated seat buttons. There's no dual zone climate control, but it's such a small vehicle, you probably don't need it anyways. Below that, you've got a 12-volt power outlet and 2 USB charging ports, plus electronic parking brake and a brake hold button, and then a little slot for your phone. That's not a wireless charging mat, it's just an extra little storage spot. Coming through right here, this is where it starts to feel a little bit cheap, maybe with this shiny black plastic and some plastic around the center console. It's all kind of plastic up here, cheap feeling, but there's actually some like soft, nice looking material right there. And then these cup holders are really deep. I mean, my tall bottle gets swallowed up in there. There's a big enough spot in the middle to maybe put a mug. So these cup holders work well. And then you still get a little soft but padded armrest. It doesn't move up and down, or it doesn't slide forward and backwards, so it's kind of stuck down low. And then you've got a little tiny storage area right there. You're not going to find an automatic dimming rearview mirror. It's just a manual flipping mirror, which works just fine. There's no sunglass holder overhead, but you've got your light controls right there. And these are actually some pretty huge visors, and they both have these giant sliding pieces, so you're covered. Now, visibility out of the Kicks is actually really good. So you've got some pretty good sized windows, and I should say good considering the shape of it. Decent window out the back, but a pretty big pillar there. Now, as we look under the hood of the Nissan Kicks, I think that this is probably one of the biggest weaknesses, or the weakest link of this Kicks. It's a pretty underwhelming and lacking power 1.6 liter 4-cylinder engine. So it's small, just a 4-cylinder, no turbo, only 122 horsepower and 114 pound-feet of torque, which is quite a bit less than a lot of vehicles this size. We'll talk about that on the test drive. It's a little peppier than you'd expect in some instances, but in other instances, you really wish you had more power. It just comes with Nissan CVT transmission, so it's a continuous variable transmission, and it's only front-wheel drive. Only front-wheel drive available, no all-wheel drive available, unlike a lot of other types of crossovers. Miles per gallon is okay, but not going to be quite as good as some small sedans at 31 city and 36 miles per gallon on the highway. All right, y'all, let's get going on a test drive of this Nissan Kicks. So hopefully you get an idea of what it's like to drive. Now, one thing I didn't mention is that standard on the SV and SR trim levels is the radar adaptive cruise control. You control the distance with a button on your steering wheel. It's easy to use, and it does a pretty good job keeping pace. It's not the same kind of system or advanced as you'll see on the new Nissan Rogue, but not bad for this small class of car. Now, like I said, the weakest link, at least to me, is the powertrain, the engine and transmission under here, and the fact that you don't have an option for all-wheel drive. You have to move up to the Rogue Sport or to the Rogue or something to get all-wheel drive. But around town, I think that this is peppy enough. It's plenty peppy for most people around town in just little areas. If you do a lot of highway driving, I would not recommend this, because passing people on the highway is a little scary because you do not have a lot of power. You do have a little sport mode button on the shifter down here. It's just a little button you can push to make it a little bit zippier, but it's nothing significant. But handling this thing is a piece of cake because it's so small, it's just nimble, it's just very light on its feet kind of thing. Let me get a little pedal down here. And the CVT transmission, if you're not familiar with it, it tries to mimic shifts like a regular transmission, but sometimes it does get kind of loud and kind of windy. Well, you'll hear that a little bit later, but handling on here I think is good. Like I said, it's nimble, it's pretty easy to maneuver around. And parking with this top SR trim, you get the 360 camera over there, so you can see if you're in your lines and see what's around you. It's really nice and unexpected in this class of a vehicle. So Nissan really does give you a fair amount of features for this class of vehicle. Even a heated steering wheel, that's pretty sweet. Now, to talk about ride comfort, the Kicks is a little bit, just a little firm in terms of ride comfort. One reason is because it's such a short vehicle. When your wheels are closer together, the front and back axles are closer, you're going to get a little bit of a bumpier ride. Now, on the other side, when you hit big bumps, it really doesn't upset this that much. I'm totally fine and totally happy with it. Driving it myself, being a daily driver, driving family around, I think it's perfectly adequate in terms of its ride comfort. It's just not going to be as soft and plush as some of the bigger vehicles, and you've got to expect that. Now let me put us in sport mode. There's going to be DS down there in front of us. Pedal down. That put us up to 60 right there. This vehicle's pretty darn slow, and it's not meant to be fast. Nobody's going to be racing this around, but I'm talking about if you're actually trying to merge on the highway or pass somebody on a 2-lane road, it's a little scary. but it handles fairly well. That engine does get pretty loud and make quite a ruckus when you really get on it, so it can be a little bit annoying. And you might be able to hear there's some wind noise that's coming in right by my ear over here. There's no laminated glass here, but the road noise in here overall on like rough textured roads or highway roads, it's not as bad as you would expect. For this class, it's totally fine. It's not going to be as quiet as the Rogue, for example, the bigger Nissan vehicle available, but it's not terrible. It's not going to be something that you're just like, oh, I hate that road noise from the Nissan Kicks. It's not like that. But in terms of ergonomics, daily driving, I wish the seating position in here was a little bit different. I felt a little awkward right away getting in here, but then again, I've been in some nicer vehicles before this for testers. I wish that this wasn't hard plastic over here, because I like to put my arm up there sometimes. But the screen is easy to reach, climate controls are easy. There's a decent center console here considering how small it is. I love the heated steering wheel controls work fine. And visibility out of here is actually pretty good. You kind of have a commanding view of the road considering it's a smaller vehicle. So really, there's not a lot to complain about, and there's a ton of information that you can see in front of you in the display down there. So it's a really easy vehicle to live with, easy to drive around, and quite a bit more spacious than I think people would realize. Now to wrap things up on this 2022 Nissan Kicks, it gives you quite a bit of features and quite a bit of space considering the price and the class of this vehicle. It's certainly not perfect, it has some weaknesses, but for the right person, this could be a really good option. I'd love to know what you think of this 2022 Nissan Kicks. This is the top SR trim with the premium package. So you saw more features in here than what you're going to see in most other Kicks models. But let me know down below what you think and if you would consider this for one of the subcompact type of crossovers. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, a thumbs up would be super helpful. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Otherwise, we'll catch you next time.